Item J5, SH Campus LLC, St. Luke's United Methodist Church, conditional use permit, group home at 3396 Stone Shore Road, District 3, Rose Hall.
The first speaker is Jennifer Siraki. And then the next speaker will be Becky Rankin.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Jennifer Siraki, Executive Director of Seton Youth Shelters. Members of City Council, I've led Seton Youth Shelters for 9 years, but it was long before then, in 1985, that a group of concerned Virginia Beach citizens transformed their fear into action by creating a safe haven for runaway teen girls in our city. A safe haven, that was their promise. Fast forward 38 years, and Seton House, now Seton Youth Shelters, has served more than 350,000 girls and boys ages 4 through 18 through our shelter, outreach, mentoring, and community education programs. Now, as in 1985, when we first opened our doors, all that we provide for the children we serve is free of charge to them and to their families. And now, as in 1985, we have served the community quietly without incident. Our success stories range from watching a former shelter resident go on to become an attorney dedicated to representing children's issues as a guardian ad litem, to saving the life of a trafficked teenage girl victimized by the people she trusted the most, her own family. 16 of the 100+ children we sheltered last year came to us in our own outreach van after we dispatched our emergency response team in the middle of the night or before dawn, or to a school where a child was afraid to go home to an abusive household. What we have accomplished through the support of our community and the dedication of our staff and volunteers, shuttling between 3 leased properties in central Virginia Beach, each more than 1.5 miles away from one another. Amid last year's devastation of both the COVID-19 pandemic shutdown and the unexpected termination of our 37-year Boys House lease came an unforeseen opportunity, bringing our shelters, mentoring, outreach, and administration together on a single campus, a place to finally actually call home, our home, for the first time in our nearly 40-year history. Instead of converting the land at 3396 Stone Shore Road into an office park or multiple apartment complexes, our new campus, with just 3 buildings on a nearly 4-acre lot, will enable us to better serve our children and their families, will allow for more convenience and teamwork for our staff and dedicated volunteers, and just as importantly, allow us to restore and preserve open green space for the education and enjoyment of the children we serve, and as a sustainable natural habitat for all of our futures. Tonight, we ask that City Council approve our proposal so that we can keep our promises to the children in our city and beyond, to be there 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, when they need us most. Thank you.
Thank you.
The next speaker is Becky Rankin, and after Ms. Rankin, it's James White.
Good evening. Thank you for allowing me to speak to you today. My name is Becky Rankin, and I have lived in Virginia Beach for over 30 years now. I am here to share with you my support of Seton Youth Shelters' proposed location for a combined campus. I have been a supporter of Seton as a volunteer for more than a decade, and as a board member since 2013. Over the years, I have had the honor of helping Seton provide the necessary support through the various programs, as well as the boys and girls shelters, which has enabled tens of thousands of children and teens to grow into productive and healthy members of society. The children and teens are not alone in what they gain from the support that they have received from Seton. Their families have also been provided important guidance that allowed them, as appropriate, to come back together with their children and move forward as a unit. All this is done without any cost to any of them, 365 days of the year. I believe combining the programs and shelters in one location on a beautiful new campus will enable Seton to continue growing and creating the programs our children need as our world itself changes. It is my firm belief that we are all here on this earth to help each other, especially our children, in achieving their fullest potential. I ask that you, our leaders in Virginia Beach, help us continue our critical mission by approving our request to relocate to the property at 3396 Stone Shore Road, enabling us to create the opportunity for any child in need to become all that they can be. Thank you.
Thank you.
The next speaker is James White, and then Barbara Messner.
Good evening, members of City Council. My name is James White, and I am the Vice President of the Board of Directors for Seton Youth Shelters. Thank you for allowing me to speak to you for a few minutes today. I am a very strong believer in families. My wife, Violet, and I have been very fortunate in our careers, and this has allowed us to commit to raising and mentoring several extended family members in addition to our own 2 daughters. We've seen firsthand how much a stable, caring support system can not only bring a child a critical sense of security and well-being, but really enable them to thrive and reach their full potential. In my decade of involvement with Seton Youth Shelters, I see this same commitment to each and every child that they serve, and in many cases, that they save. From my initial work as an event volunteer to my current position as the Vice President, I've seen Seton's unwavering work on behalf of every child and family they serve. Since 1985, through economic downturns, snowstorms, hurricanes, and yes, the COVID-19 pandemic, the entire staff is on site 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, always free to children and their families. Our new campus project gives us a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for our organization to provide even more critical services in a well-designed setting that can only benefit our children, staff, and volunteers, and the Virginia Beach community. We must act soon, as we have just 2 months to rehouse our boys. Our 38-year Boys House lease ends on August 31st. Some of the family members my wife and I have helped as children talk to us now as adults about where they would be if we had not been able to step in when they needed us the most. Think of the children Seton's emergency response team has picked up in the middle of the night to bring to shelter or mentored or counseled. Where would and where will they be? If Seton is not able to complete this transition to a permanent, wholly owned campus. Council members, I ask you to approve our request to relocate to the property at 3396 Stone Shore Road so that we can continue our critical mission of saving and changing lives and building futures. Thank you for your time.
Next speaker is Barbara Messner.
Okay, there are a lot of problems, especially at the ocean front and many other places with human trafficking and problems with children runaways. But I would like to ask for a deferral for this because it's very similar, and I do like Lyndon Ramias, but I have asked him, and I've sent pictures of the blighted areas that Seton used to house children at the ocean front. Some of the most dangerous areas, 17th and You know, for years, they've been doing fundraisers. Bart Fry at his polo farm, fundraisers for years. I want this investigated just like the Vanguard thing. I just want a deferral because, you know, everything sounded wonderful for Vanguard and, you know, yes, we need places, but I have an issue with Seton, and I have for many years, and I have asked for the auditor to look into this, and you know, I just need to say that the city attorneys give opinions, not legal rulings, and we've been paying outside
Ms.
legal
Messner,
firms on top
focus
of
on
the
this.
city attorney for 20 years. Thank you.
We have one additional speaker, Bill Hitchcock.
Okay.
Hello, thank you for having me. My name is Bill Hitchcock. I'm Senior Vice President for Atlantic Bay Mortgage Group and their Business Development Department, and I'm also speaking for Guys Doing Good. We're a local nonprofit. We've had the good fortune to work with Seton Youth Shelters over the past couple of years. I was actually one of their neighbors, have ridden my bike past their facility numerous times, jogged past there, and actually worked on their site, raking leaves and doing other volunteer work to help support the group. We found it to be a great experience for us to be involved, to see a group that is working to help upraise our youth of Virginia Beach and Hampton Roads and be there at a time of need. So today, this is the first time I've been at a council meeting, and I thought it was very interesting, and I heard some very key words that I think key words and phrases that tied to this. I heard discussions about crime, safety, quality of life, leading, being available, and how well we fared during trying times. And when you look at that and you look at Seton Youth, I think that that's very descriptive of what they provide. They're supporting youth so that they have a place to stay, so that they have a place to recover, so that they have a place where they can be inspired, and that they can see that there is kind of light on the other side, or that there is also hope. They're in a safe environment, and a lot of times when we look at facilities and we think of maybe a youth in need or a youth in trouble, they're not our best facilities, and they're not in the best areas. So by providing this opportunity, it's a really class act facility where someone being there understands that they can focus on their well-being. They can focus on the next challenge that they're facing. They're not feeling kind of downturned by what their surroundings are. And as far as quality of life, I think that for Virginia Beach, we have to continue to look at situations like this where we are supporting our youth. We're supporting not just those who excel and those that are gifted and have great gifts, but also those that are in a time of need or facing a problem and need the support there that will help them out of it. And I think that's where Virginia Beach can lead. We want to be known as a city that, once again, we're there to support the people of the city, and we know that the youth that we have right now, they're going to be our next city workers. They're going to be our next city council. They're going to be our doctors, our attorneys, everything that's out there. But if we don't give them the proper support and development to help them when they're maybe at one of their most critical points, they'll never reach that. And being available, I've seen firsthand what Seton Youth and all of their staff and facilities provide for each of these individuals, and that's key. There has to be someone there that 24/7 is there to help them, and once again help them in a way that's going to be sustainable.
Thank you very much, sir.
I appreciate your time. Thank you very much.
That's all the speakers, sir.
Okay, Mr. Berlucci.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. The first thing I'd like to do is just take a moment to thank Ms. Saraki and as well the members of the Board of Directors. And I think you were about to raise your, would you like to come back and you have a chance for a rebuttal or for additional comment?
Okay, so normally the applicants have a chance for rebuttal, so sure.
Well, I'd like to yield my 5 minutes to Ms. Saraki in this instance. Thank you.
You have 1 minute.
Okay.
is it
You have
permitted?
5 minutes, I think, right?
Thank you. I just wanted to clarify something because I know that there are several different types of services for children and adults who may find themselves homeless specifically in our community. Seton Youth Shelters has been located in the same location in Kings Grant since 1985, both our boys' house and our girls' house. Our children are ages, in our shelters or residences, are ages 9 and up to 17. Always supervised, no vehicles. They agree to give up their cell phones. They come to us only because they want to be there. And I just wanted to clarify that because we have never had a facility at the ocean front. And I know everybody is concerned about neighborhood safety, me too, even though I live in Pungo, but isn't much going on out there. But that's where we are and have been located. So just wanted to clarify that. We've been in Kings Grant and, of course, are hoping to go to our new location around the corner off Holland Road. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Berlucci.
And so I just wanted to, again, thank Ms. Saraki and the members of the Board of Directors, volunteers, and staff from Seton Youth Shelters who are here today and for bringing this application forward. I've been familiar with Seton House and Seton Youth Shelter since I was a child. I grew up not far from their location on Kings Grant, and I was aware then of the incredible work they do in our community to help teenagers in crisis. I went to school with many of the young people that Seton House served at that time, and it really is a delight to see that legacy of service continues to this day, and that what the proposal that you're bringing forward today will unlock even more potential from Seton Youth Shelters and from the young people you serve. The work that this organization is engaged in, providing emergency shelter and counseling for youth who have run away or are experiencing homelessness, is among the most noble work that I think anyone can be engaged in. I've had a chance to speak with the staff. I've had a chance to speak with members of the community and the neighborhood, and I've had a chance to speak as well with business leaders in our community who are supporting Seton Youth Shelters in this initiative. And I would just say that it's really an exemplary model of the community coming together to serve each other and to make sure that each of us receives the dignity, respect, and opportunity that we all deserve. So, Mr. Vice Mayor, it is a pleasure and an honor to recommend approval.
Second.
Sorry, motion by Mr. Berlucci, seconded by Ms. Wilson. Any other comments? Ms. Henley.
Yes, and some of us have been around a long time, and so we were here on the council when Seton House or the predecessors to that were given their first approvals way back when. And as I remember, and it's not real clear, but I remember somewhat of the controversy from the neighborhoods that were going to be affected because they were a little afraid that there might be some spillover effects and so forth, and those normal kinds of concerns. But I think it's certainly admirable that the organization has proven that those fears were unfounded, because I don't think I've ever heard a complaint. Of course, it's not my district. It would be, I guess, Jim's or predecessors in the Lynn Haven district, but I'm not aware of any. And it tells you that they have done a wonderful job. And I think that's the beauty of Virginia Beach, is we have so many nonprofits who do wonderful things that we don't even hear about because they're out doing their good things all the time, and we really appreciate it so much. And our people in our city give generously to make sure that these nonprofits are able to do the things that they do, and I think that's what makes Virginia Beach special. And we really do have to make sure we take care of our most vulnerable citizens and things that the government just could never do. And we really appreciate it, and I just want to say thanks, and thank you for such an opportunity now to all come together on one campus. Won't be an institution. It's a campus that allows people to be together and to interact and continue to do the good things that you all have done. Thank you so much.
Okay, Mr. Moss, then Ms. Wilson.
Well, I think, Michael, great recommendation you brought forward. Did all your words. I think we've always known that the NGOs across the board can be more compassionate than bureaucracies can be. So I hope Mr. City Manager, in these things as we look at our final 10.4 million or whatever it is in our CARE Act money, that we do as much as we can with that to support NGOs across the board with one-time capital expenses that allow us to do things that the private sector, because of just how things have been impacted, has certainly made donations harder to come by, because these people deliver compassion and results, and they are very judicious and unbureaucratic in the expenditure of their money. So please make sure when he's doing his inventory that we have all these organizations on their list and make sure that we do our part. Thank you.
Thanks. Ms. Wilson?
I just want to briefly thank Ms. Saraki for the hard work that she's done over the years and always digging deep and scrambling and trying to find grants to keep this organization going. She's really been the glue that's done this, and she's had a great board that has supported that. And this is such a wonderful opportunity, and for Atlantic Bay to step forward and help with this campus. It's just such a good news story, and it's really a pleasure and an honor for me to be able to vote for this, and just want to thank everyone there and the families and the people who have supported this over the years. Great job.
Thanks. Any other comments? Well, I'll just say Seton Youth Shelters has been in my district for just about 40 years, and they are an excellent organization. They provide needed services, and they're very successful at what they do. I will tell you that none of these things typically are without controversy when they first open. I remember when the girls' shelter first opened in Kings Grant, and you would have thought that the world was going to fall apart. And what I can tell you is now, the last time I was at the Kings Grant Civic League, they're very sad that the Seton Youth Shelters is leaving the neighborhood. And I think that is an incredibly great testimony to the work that you all have done. The community in Little Neck Corridor has absolutely embraced you, and we're certainly going to miss you. But we wish you all the luck. So with that, we'll call for the vote.
Councilmember Abbott?
Aye.
Councilmember Berlucci?
Aye.
Councilmember Henley?
Aye.
Councilmember Jones?
Aye.
Councilmember Moss?
Aye.
Councilmember Rouse?
Aye.
Councilmember Tower?
Aye.
Councilmember Wilson?
Aye.
Councilmember Wooten?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Wood?
Aye.
Mayor Dyer is absent. By a vote of 10-0, you have approved the application of SH Campus LLC, St. Luke's United Methodist Church.